You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
That's right, and we're back.
Is this another game show theme?
Yes, it is. I kind of like it. It's Game Show Saturday here on Where You Live.
I see.
We're broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. Before we go back into our story here, I would like to let our listeners know we've got a free resource for you. We put together a great bi-monthly newsletter. It's yours free for the asking. A lot of what we talk about on the show we go into further detail. For example, the next newsletter coming out in February has an article about the issue of new regulations that will take place this spring, where the HVAC industry will no longer be able to just put in a regular furnace. They have to put in a special high efficiency furnace. We're going to be talking about what is that going to mean to you as a homeowner association? What is that going to mean to you as a homeowner with extra fees and extra costs? And we'll be talking about that. That's in the newsletter. It's yours free. Just give us a call at New Concepts at 952-922-2500 and ask for Lori. She'll make sure that you start receiving it electronically or by mail. Now, I made a statement right before we went to break that here we had, we're talking about this story from CNN Money, where they talk about associations in Florida are foreclosing on banks. And the bank, one bank in particular, was giving a quote, and I just thought it was just blatantly dishonest and irresponsible. And I'd like to explain myself why I think so. This particular bank made the claim. They said, we're not the owner of the property. We're just the trustee of the property. The mortgage company servicing the account is responsible for paying the fees. And I want to talk about property ownership.
Yeah, that's confusing to me because if this bank, Deutsche Bank, that made this statement is not servicing the loan, but there's another mortgage company servicing the loan.
Yes.
Then who holds the paper?
And what happens typically when a person goes to finance and mortgage their home, they will get money, a loan from a particular bank or institution. They will bank will pay off the seller. They go bye-bye, and now they're paying the 30-year mortgage back to the mortgage company. In a lot of cases, the mortgage company that gave the loan continues to keep the loan. When they do, they're servicing it.
So they're sending the monthly statements. They're collecting the mortgage payment.
The monthly fee, making sure that the escrow's taken in, insurance is paid, taxes are paid, that kind of thing. All right. But there are some companies that don't want to do that, so they have farmed that portion of it out.
The servicing. And
the servicers are not the owners.
They don't hold title. The servicer doesn't hold title on the property.
It's like saying all horses are mammals, but not all mammals are horses.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
And it's the same thing with servicing and mortgage companies. Okay. Not all servicing companies are the ones that own the property. Okay. And in that case, if you're dealing with a trustee, the trustee is the servicer.
Okay.
The trustee is what is a trust? It's someone who has been being held accountable for something. As a management company,
we're a trustee.
we would be.
So we're doing something for somebody else.
That's right.
We're acting for somebody else. So these servicing companies are usually acting for the real owner.
But it is dishonest for a bank when they have taken the property back to say, well, we really don't own it. And that's what some banks have been saying. Mortgage companies and lenders have been saying.
That's absolutely untrue.
And the test, that's right. And the test, I would say that would make this the litmus test that you could take a look at here is whose name is on the property. If The mortgage company foreclosed on the owner. They take it out of their name and put it in their name. Whoever is on the name of the property, that is the owner.
That makes perfect sense.
But just because a bank said, well, we're not used to paying these monthly
That's
fees.
kind of what they're saying, isn't it?
Yes. But you've got to remember that this contract agreement goes both ways. A lot of people don't realize that. Yes, you signed a contract with your mortgage company saying you're going to make monthly payments until that mortgage is taken care of. At that point that it's yours free and clear. Until that time, the mortgage company holds over their head the ability to foreclose for non-payment.
That's right.
Because of that, associations have done that too. Now, some banks will say, well, we didn't enter into this agreement with this association, but I would say they did.
I think so, too.
Because I don't know one mortgage company, one lender, think of one closing that ever took place where the mortgage company, the lender, didn't first take a look at what their obligation is. They want to make sure that you have insurance on the property. They want to make sure the taxes are paid. They want to go through and make sure that there's clear title. They go through all of that. Why? Because they know that they are going to be legally bound and responsible if you, the homeowner,
if the borrower defaults.
And so if a bank said, I'm willing to lend to someone who owns property in an HOA, they are also saying we are agreeing to abide by the governing documents.
I agree, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so, to me, it just seems
it's disingenuous. They're just not accustomed to having to deal with these issues. They of course weren't prepared for such a huge onslaught of foreclosures. I'm sure they're adjusting and reacting and trying to get up to speed with everything, just like the rest of us are.
Yes, but I'm telling you. Folks, if you are in an HOA and you have banks that are not paying, you can indeed foreclose. Take a look at that article in CNN Money. Let's deal with another story, shall we? And this comes from the Green Valley News and Sun. And it says Sonora residents want Rancho HOA to cut fees. What we're talking about here, there is a master homeowner association, and it's called Rancho Suahuarita.
Beats me. That sounds good.
That's it. We'll go with that.
All right. I bet you can't say it the same way twice.
Or even 10 times in a row. But anyway, there's a master homeowners association.
It's called Rancho something. Yeah.
And they have sub-associations. And so the master association will probably be responsible for certain signage, most likely for some lighting, some common private roads that
sometimes we see them responsible for hiking trails, for ponds throughout the community. Some
pools, community
golf courses. You see, yeah.
And so then you have the sub association, and they have. So if you live in a sub association, you'll pay dues to your association. Your association will pay dues to a master.
To the master. Okay.
And so we have in this particular master association with a number of subs. It's interesting. One of them, is the Sonora HOA, and they are also have the distinction of being a 55 plus association. They're elderly people.
Okay.
And they got around to finally saying, "Hey, wait a minute. This master association, this HOA, is charging us for pools and for programs for kids in the area, but that's not what we want.
We don't benefit from
those
things.
And so they think that they don't have a responsibility to make that payment to the master association.
So they want their dues to be cut back because they're not using all of the amenities that are provided by the master association.
That's right.
So does that fly?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I don't.
We talk about on the show so many times where there's the individual homeowner who says, I don't necessarily like what the HOA is doing. I don't necessarily agree how they're spending money, so I'm going to just not make my payment, or I'm not going to make all of my payment. I'm going to deduct this amount, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And
we hear it. Yep.
And they don't have a right. What we have here is we have the same song, just a different artist singing it. In this case, it's an HOA instead of an individual.
Of the individual.
homeowner.
Okay, yeah.
And you can't do that by the virtue of the token that you have this, the fact that you have this set of governing documents. You are legally bound and responsible.
You agreed to sign on.
Yes. We need to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about what could this association do, though, if they don't want to be a part of a master association. Is that possible? Is it possible for a sub-association to break away from the master association? We'll talk about that and more after these messages.